is the second rally that you guys have held, and what's the goal of continuing the rallies here in the city?
Okay, well, it's no longer just about where's my vote, the elections are rigged. Now it's really about the violation of human rights, the imprisonment, the raping of women, the murdering of young men and women and mothers and fathers. It's the lack of the government's acceptance of the people's right to, protest against what they feel is a very oppressive regime. It's still going on in Iran. It's not as widespread in the media. I mean, Michael Jackson's death, and then, the coup d'etat of the Honduran president, and then just the health insurance policy of the United States. I mean, other stories are just blocking what's going on in Iran. I think it's really important that people know that there were protests a few days ago. People are still in prison. There are disappeared persons every day, and that the government is still wrong, and the people of Iran have not given up. They have not given up. Despite knowing there are bullets and there are batons and violence in the streets awaiting them, they don't stop. And, it's our right as people in a country where we have the freedom to assemble, to, show our support and to demand our representatives in other countries, the United Nations, to support the Iranian people. Are
you disappointed to see that the coverage is kind of tamed in the national media?
Definitely. I mean, this is how we get our stories, me and my girlfriends and just other friends, through YouTube, through Twitter, through things like Huffington Post, through the Daily Beast, Reza Aslan, we read him a lot, really underground type of news media. It's so sad. The coverage is just, plummeted, and it's really important for the world to know that the people of Iran have not stopped protesting, have not stopped their rally cry. They are still out there. Just recently a young boy was murdered in prison. Apparently he died of natural causes. A young girl was raped multiple times, and it's going on. I mean, this is out in the media, visible for everyone to see. It's been going on for 30 years, though, quietly, behind closed doors. Now it's just important for the people of Iran are tired, and we're here to show them that we're supporting them.
And locally here, the turnout at this one was probably just as good as at the first rally that you had. Yeah, maybe a little less just because of the rain.
More non-Iranians here.
Sure, exactly. And last time we saw there were other media here, like from some of the local television stations. I know the Enquirer was here last time, and this time I didn't see anybody else taking photographs for any news. Do you think it's important for the local media to tell the stories?
Absolutely. I mean, the last time the Enquirer wrote a story, I had a lot of people confront me like, hey, we heard about this, we didn't know you did this, or you're famous in Cincinnati, and I was like, how do you know? They read the Enquirer. I mean, it's a red paper. I don't really, have anything to say about that, but it's a paper that's read, and it's just a real shame that they'd rather be covering, some theft, auto theft, or some whack story that really doesn't affect a large scope of people, and not cover something that's got such a huge impact on so many lives. I mean, as that guy so eloquently said before, there are 1.5 million drug addicts in Iran, and that's not because they were seeking that lifestyle. I mean, the government kind of directs certain people towards that lifestyle. There are, disappeared persons are not genuine, or are not unique to Central America. Disappeared persons are all over the world, and especially in Iran. Iran is number one in executing prisoners in the world. No, I'm sorry. Iran is number two. China is number one. Iran is number two. And it's supposed to be a democratic theocracy. And they're number two at executing persons that have children out of wedlock, that are drug dealers, that protest against the government. I mean, these aren't reasons to be executed. I mean, we're not going to go into that, but, we have a country that's so corrupt, so brutal, so violent, and nobody's covering it anymore. It's not a hot topic. I mean, the amount of coverage Michael Jackson got. I mean, I love Michael Jackson. Don't get me wrong. I love the man. But the amount of time and money and media attention that went to that, they could have fed a whole nation. They could have fed a whole nation for a couple weeks.
I think it was over $1 million was the funeral and memorial service at the Staples Center and everything.
Yes, it was over. It was like $1.5 million. I mean, Michael Jackson, being the humanitarian that he was, I'm sure would have liked that money, be spent in a more productive humanitarian way.
Sure. And the best way for people in Cincinnati and around the country and world to learn about what's going on here in Cincinnati
is to get on Facebook, to find Gonche Free Iran, to find Irane Nazaninamon, to go on Huffington Post, to go on the Daily Beast, to go on the Amnesty International site, to go on the United for Iran global just to go on NPR. I mean, just look at all the the sites and the media that is more socially oriented, social justices type of information sites, and they'll find out about us. I mean, we try to spread the word as much as we can. I mean, we can only do so much, but it really depends on where the people's values, how they value things in life. So if you got a value system that looks at Hollywood and then your image and then clothes and then cars and then money and then bars and things like that, you're not going to care about countries that are thousands of miles away in their struggle for freedom and democracy. So the problem is, I think, with the people sometimes, and what they value is important in their life, and sometimes they don't want to take 2 hours out of their week to come support people who look different, speak different, and a lot of times they don't know that those people are just like us, young people who want to look just like us.
Will there be more rallies here in Cincinnati?
Definitely. I know you'll be at them.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it.